We're currently in the beautiful city of Nanjing in Jiangsu Province in East China. This city has been around for a very long time, since the 3rd century, and it was also the capital of many Chinese dynasties. It was also the first city in the world to reach 1 million population. Now, today we're going to be showing you around this beautiful city, and the first stop here is at the site of the Porcelain Tower. Now, this is a reconstruction of a 15th century pagoda that was once upon a time one of the tallest towers here in China. And even though you might not have seen it before, you may recognize it from the packaging of your Chinese takeout box. In fact, you'll see this a lot everywhere in the world, even on shows such as Big Bang Theory. And today joining us is Associate Professor Bi Yuan of Southeast University here in Nanjing to tell us more about the significance of this beautiful tower.
Hi.
Thank you for joining us.
Welcome, and thank you for having me.
It's very beautiful,
yes.
but it obviously is different compared to the original version.
Much different.
Right. But can you tell us about the importance of the original tower?
Yeah, sure. It's actually centuries before the invention of this takeout box. This tower was already famous to foreigners, and the reason for that was mostly because the missionaries who came to China, and they all had the chance to visit Nanjing, seeing a lot of marvels, and they all left with good stories to tell. And this was on top of that list, because in that time, the Porcelain Tower, the original version of this, of course, was to China as the Eiffel Tower is to France today, and everybody wanted to see it, and everybody wanted to bragging about having seen it.
Right.
And we know that it looked differently because they actually have some pictures painting. I actually prepared some to show you.
Oh, wow. Yes, that's very different.
Much differently.
And it does look a lot more like what we're seeing here on the package.
Yes.
And to learn more about how this tower would have originally looked, we're going to go inside the museum now to look at a wooden model of the original tower. The tower itself is part of a bigger temple complex called the Temple of Gratitude.
Yes.
It was founded at the same time as Nanjing itself.
Yes, the one that's most famous was built in Ming Dynasty, but it's actually not built from ground. It's built on the basis of a temple and tower from the 6 dynasties.
I see. Okay, so roughly the 3rd century.
Yes.
Now, obviously, what we're seeing here is a wooden tower. It also was originally 9 stories tall.
Yes, I believe so.
There were supposed to be bells and I think
wind
lanterns
chimes.
as well.
Yeah. Imagine 108 of them singing all together. That would be breathtaking.
Of course. And what we're looking at now is a wooden model, but it was called the Porcelain Tower.
Yeah, the porcelain.
And obviously it would have looked a lot more spectacular with all of the porcelain glazed in many different colors. There is actually a reconstruction in another part of the museum that we'll take you to now. Wow.
So it's not the whole picture, but you get how the color would be.
That is incredible, because often when we look at ancient relics or old towers, it just looks kind of like grey stone.
Yeah, grey pale. Yeah.
Or, it's a ruin, but this would have been so incredible back in the day.
Imagine that wooden replica we just saw, and times bigger with this color on that.
And you can just imagine how beautiful it must have been during the daytime when the sunlight was reflected off those porcelain tiles, and at night they also hung lanterns, didn't they?
Lanterns, so make sure it's always shining,
always illuminated. And they've got a QR code here that you can scan, and then you can point it at the arch that we see right in front of us. And with any luck, we'll have something very special coming out. Oh! So we just caught a white elephant, one of the auspicious animals that you see on the gate right here. Look at it, this is absolutely amazing. And I think what this museum's done so well is that they've introduced all of these modern fun elements to, museums which are usually quite heavy with history.
Yes. And this will attract many more people to come and experience the cultural thing.
Exactly.
And it can be
I've just caught it. It's gone into my wallet. It's like a trading card game. I caught one earlier, which was a lion, and now I have an elephant. And now I have to scan it as many times as possible to collect them all. But I do want to ask you, we've got a number of animals here.
Yes.
There's the elephant that I just caught. Yeah. There's a lion as well.
The flying goat.
That's a flying goat, okay.
Flying goat.
And of course we've got the dragon as well.
Yeah, they are Buddhist images. Well, I think they all present a certain kind of good wishes, good symbol.
The original porcelain tower was so impressive, it's considered one of the 7 wonders of the Middle Ages, alongside Stonehenge, the Leaning Tower of Pisa, but it's also just one of several famous historic structures here in Nanjing. Okay, so we've just walked across the Qinhuai River. You can see the porcelain pagoda in the background. We're now on the city walls, and from here you can actually see it does look quite similar, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it looks better here somehow.
I agree. But it's interesting. I mean, obviously it's made of concrete and glass now, but back then it would have been glazed porcelain.
Yeah, and with the bright sunlight, it would look pretty breathtaking. Better than it looks now. Yeah.
So the city wall itself, tell me a little bit about it, because it's a very large structure.
Yes, it was built on the basis of the Southern Song city wall, but that was not much. And it took 30 years, starting from when Nanjing became the capital city of Ming, China. It took like hundreds of thousands of workers.
Obviously, the city wall has a defensive function. It's not just for tourists like us to walk around on, right? What was some of the characteristics of this particular city wall?
I think we actually can have a look at its special design.
Okay.
It's very different from what we would have in most Western old cities, because for those cities, I believe the siege would come to an end once you breach the city gate.
Right.
But here we have a second, third, fourth layer of defense.
Oh, I see. They're sort of like little boxes.
Yes.
So these are Barbicans, right?
Yes.
But I think usually Barbicans are on the outside of the gate.
Yeah, that's the special part of it. So I think what they were trying to do is that once you breach the first gate, you would think that you have gone through the city and you met your second line of defense and you left your siege weapons on the outside.
I see. That's very tricky. And then the defenders can, swarm the walls and shoot arrows at them or drop boulders.
Yes. They actually have rooms for like over 3,000 soldiers high.
Wow. So it's literally like shooting fish in a barrel.
Yes.
It just makes them super easy targets.
Yes.
And it looks like there are, I think, three of them.
Three layers.
Okay. So this is a very strong city wall. It's interesting because it doesn't look like all of the bricks were, put in at the same time. There are even bits that are kind of like different colors.
Yes, it's funny you should mention that. Whenever you see a white spot on the bricks, those were actually paste made from sticky rice.
Oh.
It was used to hold bricks together. Now it may sound cheap, but it worked mixed with other things. So interesting fact is that when you see some bricks with a white spot on the outside, you will know this was the kind of bricks that fell apart after siege, perhaps, and put back together onto the wall. Because if it was in the original place, the white stuff should be on the inside against the other bricks.
I see. So it's basically like a very sturdy Lego tower that can be reconstructed brick by brick. And this is interesting too, because this part of the wall, you've got these steps here, but there are also these two big slopes on either side.
Yes, I think it's the same thing as you would see at our railway stations, airports, those parts that would be easier for you to carry your luggage.
Right.
Yeah. But back then, that's much heavier.
Yeah.
Cannons and stuff.
Right, and obviously we're wearing normal casual clothing, but in the past...
Yes, for the soldiers it would be much more difficult.
Yeah, they would be wearing full suits of armor, bringing up cannons, horses. Made it a lot easier for the defensive
much easier
part of the town, but not so much for the attackers.
No.
It's incredible how, we're walking on a city wall that is some, roughly 600 years old, and it's still in such great working condition.
Yeah, this was here before the discovery of America.
Yeah, I mean, if you put it that way, that is absolutely incredible. Back in the Middle Ages.
Yeah, back in the...
And it seems like, I don't know if I'm correct in saying that, but during that time, many towns and cities were basically fortresses where people lived inside and they farmed outside.
Yeah, they all have a wall, a city wall to defend the central part of it.
Right. It was a very, the first thing that you would do when you build a city.
Yes.
I see. I guess we could probably go inside into the museum to have a look.
There's a rather beautiful collection of the bricks and the history of the city wall. We can have a look.
Okay, that's great. Because I did see earlier that there were some bricks that had some very interesting characters on them.
Yes.
I see. It's a lot more noticeable here compared to outside.
Yeah,
the characters
a whole
are very
collection.
clear.
And you can see there are bricks that not only from the years where this wall was first built.
I see.
All those emperors, they enhanced the city wall.
Right. It wasn't built just in one go.
Yes.
I see. And could you tell us a little bit more about the characters printed on the bricks itself?
Of course. And you can see they have this planned out for you. This, I think, is one of the best ones because they have all kinds of people on there. They have the people who's in charge of the local quality control and the local daily administration. And I think the last one was the one who made this very brick.
I see.
And this Jiangsu number 6 was the one who's in charge of a lot of number 7 people together.
And, if the brick breaks...
Yeah. All of them will find themselves in very serious trouble.
Very serious trouble. And back then, trouble didn't just mean a dock in your wages. Trouble actually means that your entire family will be eradicated. And so even though, we have better technology these days, the craftsmanship of those ages is very difficult to replicate because they literally had their lives on the line.
Yeah.
And this sort of quality assurance system was so successful that it was actually used in the Great Wall of China as well.
Yes, sure. And one of the major concerns of this system in the first place was that they're afraid of people getting lazy or wanting to, cutting something off on the edge.
I see. No, no secretly using the materials for your own house.
They want to make sure there's no breadcrumb across the table. Yeah.
It must have taken a very long time to build the wall.
About 30 years. It's first finished by the end of the 14th century.
Wow, that's incredible. And this would have been what it would have looked like in the Ming Dynasty.
Yeah, just imagine how expensive this would be if they were made in Lego.
Well, yeah, of course. Or of bricks too. Yeah. And I think in terms of location, we visited the Porcelain Tower earlier
here.
And at the city wall now. Tell me a little bit about the people who lived here.
I mean, people lived close to the wall were not very rich or politically important. They were not prestige. They were humble workers. I mean, some of them chose to live here because first they couldn't afford a better place, and second, it's close to work.
Right. They probably had to leave the gate very often. And the two areas nearby the gate, they actually have names that are very specific to that, right?
And very straightforward. That's the west part and the east part, Laomenxian, Laomendong.
Right. As the capital of multiple dynasties, Nanjing has seen its fair share of emperors, many of whom have left legacies to be found in this city. From the city wall to the palace of heavenly worship, we're joined by Assistant Professor Liu from Southeast University at Nanjing. Could you tell us a little bit about the significance of this place?
Yeah, this temple is called Chao Tian Gong, or literally means the heaven worshipping palace. Yeah, it was named during the Ming Dynasty as the Imperial Daoist temple. Yeah.
I mean, you can see how absolutely gorgeous it is in there. But it's also interesting how there are so many kids sliding down the steps. I wonder how the emperor must have felt.
Yeah, it is very interesting for this might be a public space for the local residents. You see, this picture is also very interesting. It was a woodblock print in the late Ming period. And there are people practicing martial arts on this square.
Oh, wow.
And a lot of onlookers gather around.
Okay, so the emperor's always had commoners on his doorstep having fun.
Yeah, this is the Imperial Daoist temple. Also, it has another side for the local people.
For sure. I mean, it's important to have, you know, temples that are accessible to everybody as well, right? But speaking of Daoist, I mean, we have a statue of Confucius here.
Yeah.
How does that connect?
You might be Confucius with this statue of Confucius.
Exactly.
Yeah, because after the movement of the Taiping Tianguo, this place, this Daoist temple, was changed to Confucius temple of the local prefectural school.
Okay.
Yeah, so we can see this statue of Confucius here.
I see. And how long ago was the temple founded?
The Daoist temple was initially founded in the 10th century, shortly after the Tang Dynasty.
Okay.
Yeah, and it became more and more important, especially during the Ming Dynasty.
You can also see how, you know, judging by the yellow glazed tiles, this was an imperial complex because only I think the imperial family could use this color.
Yeah, even the buildings were reconstructed. Yeah, we still use this yellow roof.
Right.
Yeah, because it was the imperial standards.
Of course, of course. Okay, so this is the Confucian temple, the Wenmiao.
This is the main building of the Confucian temple. Yeah, when it was still the Daoist temple, this hall is called the Sanqing Dian, the hall to worship the three pristine ones.
Okay.
Yeah, there's the highest deities of the Taoism.
I see here, this is an emblem of the emperor. You've got a dragon with, is it a pearl?
I think it might be the remains
I see.
of the original Ming Daoist temple.
Ah.
Yeah, so most of the buildings were rebuilt, but there are still some remains.
Wow.
That we could see the original works, architectural works, crafts.
Right.
Yeah, of the Ming imperial standards.
But you know, Ming Dynasty was only about 600 years ago, but this temple itself has a much longer history, doesn't it?
As we said, the history of a Daoist temple could be traced back to 10th century. But this site is called Yeshan. The history of Yeshan could be traced back to 2,500 years ago.
Wow.
The name Yeshan is because it was built for a place for bronze smelting.
Okay.
It is recorded by history that Fu Chai, the king of Wu, established a forge on the small hill, and behind this hall.
Wow.
Yeah, and to manufacture bronze swords here.
Wow. That is incredible to think that this temple has been around for 2,500 years.
So this is also a part of the initial history of Nanjing city.
Right.
Because Yeshan or Yecheng, there might be a small castle to protect the forge.
But I do know that the Nanjing Municipal Museum is also within the temple grounds here.
Yeah.
So I guess we could go inside and see if there are any relics from,
Of course.
from the past.
Yeah.
Nice. There are lots of ancient relics in this museum. Can you tell us what we're looking at here?
Yeah, this is a remain of the city road in ancient Nanjing, when Nanjing was called Jiankang, the capital of the 6 dynasties.
And it looks like it's not quite flat, so what's going on here?
Yeah, you see this road was made by bricks, actually a very expensive way to build roads. And there are 2 obvious grooves on the road. These are obviously made by the carriage, horse carriages.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's almost like train tracks or tram tracks.
Yeah. That's a very good point, because you know, when Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor, unified China, he also unified all the standards, including the width of the horse carriages.
Wow. That is incredible. I mean, just to think that long ago to have this level of sophistication it blows my mind.
Yeah, it's very astonishing.
For sure. Let's see if there are any other interesting exhibits around here in the museum. Okay, this is interesting. It looks like people from many different ethnic backgrounds here all on one scroll.
Yeah, this painting is called the Portraits of the Tributaries. They are actually the envoys from neighboring countries.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It was actually a painting made during the Liang Dynasty, 5th century. And the painting, the reproduction we see is actually a copy of the 11th century during the Song Dynasty. And it is housed in the National Museum of China.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't even know what this is called.
Yeah, this machine is called Armillary sphere. It was actually built for the astronomers to observe stars. It is a replica of the original piece from the Imperial Observatory in Beijing.
Ah, yes, I've been there before. So how old would the original have been?
600 years ago. It was firstly built in Nanjing at the beginning of the Ming Dynasty. And after about 50 years ago, when the capital moved to Beijing, they built another one in Beijing. Yeah.
I mean, it would have been especially important for the emperor to be able to divine the fates from the stars.
Yeah, it is very important, not only because it connects with the heavenly mandate, also it is very important for calculating the calendar for average or the peasants to practicing their cultivation.
Right, and for those of you at home who don't know what a heavenly mandate is, it's basically proof that the emperor is able to be the go-between, the son of heaven, so the middleman between the heaven and earth. And you know, obviously China as an agricultural civilization, it was very important to know when to plant and when to harvest as well.
Yeah.
But this is fun. We already saw this actually in the Great Temple of Gratitude.
Yeah, the pagoda.
A replica of the pagoda, and also the arch. It must have been just absolutely incredible back in the day.
Yeah, yeah. So this gate is a replica of the original one. But you can see these pieces are the actual remains of the pagoda. Wow. It is very, very delicate.
Of course.
And you see such a huge architecture are decorated with all of these beautiful tiles. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, not just the craftsmanship, but you could tell how powerful the dynasty through this kind of beautiful art
of course.
As well. From its dazzling porcelain tower to its grand city walls and palace of heavenly worship, Nanjing is definitely a city for the history buff. And indeed, walking through its streets today, you're still constantly reminded of this city's venerable past. And in the next episode, we'll explore how the other half lived in Nanjing.